Avec la sortie prochaine de The Last of Us Remastered sur PlayStation 4, le jeu le plus récompensé de l'année 2013 fait à nouveau parler de lui. C'est l'occasion pour jeuxvideo.com de rencontrer Troy Baker et Ashley Johnson, respectivement Joel et Ellie, afin de leur poser vos questions.
I think we knew going in that this was definitely it was a different game in the sense that there's a relationship that the player has with the game, and that is in some ways mirrored in that relationship between Joel and Ellie. But absolutely, the relationship is the cornerstone. It's the foundation of this game. It's all about relationships. It's about how, you know, this guy and this girl, Joel and Ellie, relate to each other. It's how they relate to the world, both together and individually. So yeah, I would definitely say the relationship is the most part.
Name's David. This here's my friend James. We're from a larger group. Women, children. We're all very, very hungry.
I think when Ellie meets David, I think at first, once she kind of starts to trust him as they spend a little bit of time together, I think almost at first she enjoys that he's treating her almost as an equal. And I think that's where, you know, Ellie goes wrong a little bit, because obviously she shouldn't trust David, which we find out very quickly. But they're very different relationships.
The characters that Neil and Bruce came up with were amazing shells and incredibly well thought out, and what is a true testament to them is the fact that they allowed each actor that came in to really challenge what that character looked like and bring something new to it, which is the goal of what an actor wants to come in and do, is to help really ground the character and make it very real and approachable and something that is relatable.
I think for me, there's a lot of times when I'll watch something that I do and there are some changes that I would like to make, or some choices that I made, or that I probably would have done differently. But I think as a whole, I'm just so proud of the game and the end product that I'm actually okay with it. Yeah, which is kind of a first.
I'm sure your friend will be missing this tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's light on the reading, but it's got some interesting photos.
Now, Ellie, that ain't for kids.
This has been the first game that I felt like I was watching a real person, that it wasn't me, that it was somebody different, and I wouldn't change anything. Not because I think that I was perfect, but I believe that what ended up in the game was exactly what was supposed to be in the game. This is all about acting, and there's nothing specific that you do. There's an understanding that you have of a landscape within video games. I personally feel that the game space is one of the most interesting places for the narrative and for character development and for immersion. So if the right thing came along in TV or film, then sure, but I'm pretty happy with where games are at, and I'll stay here my entire life.
I would definitely say it's a choice and a passion. I mean, it's not necessarily random. I mean, video games to me are sort of the highest form of entertainment, and because it's immersive, and you have, you know, 15 to 20 something hours of gameplay, and it's I love it. So I love playing games, and now that I got to be in one, it's just such an awesome job. I think that can either be a negative thing or a positive thing, depending on the people you're working with. But I mean, we became family, so it became so much more than just making a video game for me. I think for both of us, and we're just so passionate about it. And yeah, I mean, he's my best friend. So. Oh, shucks.
Whether it be theater, whether it be film, every aspect has its own challenges. With TV and film, and really even with stage, the hair, the makeup, the wardrobe, the sets, the props, everything helped to facilitate that performance. With this specifically, it's actually working against you. You're wearing a ridiculous wardrobe. You have props that really restrict your movement sometimes, or you really have to have a great imagination. It's theater of the mind. And that's what makes it so special when you really feel like you're in an abandoned street and you're completely surrounded by clickers or hunters, and all of the technology and the cameras and the funny suits and everything goes away, and all you see Ellie, you see Joel, or you see Henry or Sam.
Well, Bill is one of my favorite characters, which I feel like you were maybe going to talk about this one part. He's W. Earl Brown is just such an amazing actor, but so is Annie Wershing, who played Tess, and she had so many. That's hard because I just thought everybody was so wonderful.
We had such an incredible cast, and that's rare. There's always typically one person where you're meh. But everybody, Bill, Tess, Tommy, Henry, Sam, I mean, these were some not only incredible actors, but incredible characters for them to fill. And Henry sticks to me so much because of what Brandon, the actor who played Henry, did to it. Earl brought Bill to life.
They're just different. I don't know if one's harder than the other. I think the really great thing about motion capture is you can get more done in a day, because, whereas on a film set you would only be able to shoot, maybe 7 to 9 pages.
And that's doing a lot.
Whereas in motion capture you can do
15.
Yeah, 15, maybe 20 pages, because you don't have to change your lighting setups, you don't have to really go into hair and makeup, you don't have to change your clothes, you don't have to move the cameras, and it's kind of nice to just be able to, I feel like in some ways it's almost more immersive, because you can just do the scene as a whole instead of shoot one side of the scene and then walk away and go eat and have your coffee, and then you come back and you're like, okay, I got to get back in the zone again and get my emotions back in order. But motion capture, I love it. Naughty Dog is great, and I think that whatever they end up deciding to do with the story, whether it's if they make a second one, if they, choose to have new characters, or if, if they decided to continue the story with Joel and Ellie, I trust what they do creatively and the integrity of the company of, what they make. I mean, the Uncharted series is a great example. So I think, I don't know, whatever they do, I think it will be interesting.
I think if there's a story to be told, then they will tell it. I think it's very rare when you not only create a story, but when you create a world that you want to know more about. And that's a very interesting thought. It could be without Joel and Ellie, who knows? But again, exactly what she said. If there's a story to be told and Neil and Bruce want to tell it,